Hello everybody, this is Ina again, and thank you so much for coming and joining me. Today I would like to show you my latest project. I found this really lovely book at a secondhand bookstore. It is Mark Twain's short stories. It has a lovely color, it's in very good shape. It was actually published in 1957. Originally, I'd hoped to turn it into an art or junk journal, but after looking at it, because the cover is very sturdy, but after looking at it for a while, I couldn't get myself to cut into it. It is just such a special find. So as you can see, the pages on the top are gold colored, and the pages in the front are kind of unevenly cut. They're a little bit rough, which I think is really cool. So I decided to turn it into an art journal, but to use very gentle mediums. So I mostly use pen pastels, oil pastels, my ink pads, a little bit of gel pen, charcoal, watercolor pencil, those kind of things. And I decided to make very simple illustrations in it. Um, so I did not have to gesso the pages or glue pages together because I wanted it to keep its shape. So I'm going to show you some of the pages I've already done, and then I'd like to make a couple together with you. The pages are really nice. They have a little bit of texture to them, not too thin. So the first page, very simple, is just some pen pastels, a little bit of stamping, a little bit of ink pad, gel pen. I was just kind of trying out how these different things feel on these pages. Here are the pebbles. It's just charcoal and some pen pastels again, some stamping. And on this particular page, I used a little bit of gesso just to kind of fade the edges. Here I decoupaged a coffee cup taken from a napkin and used a bit of oil pastels. The same for the flowers on this page. And down here I actually used a tiny bit of acrylic paint applied with a credit card. The tree I actually used watercolor pencil. The same for the flowers on the side. And so far every time I hit a page who has a big title and some empty space, I just used it for a quote. Here I used some black gesso to help me with the trees. Same for the umbrella on this page. And here too I decoupaged a little bird and butterfly. I really like the pages the best where you can see the script or print really well. I think it gives them a lot of character. So I will show you the next pages because I had posted some of my early pages on different Facebook sites and have gotten such good response and so many questions that I promised a little tutorial here. So this is it. I usually clip the page down a little bit and I will fast forward through my page making because whatever I do is very simple. I'm no fine artist by any means, and whatever I do you can do. Prost. Alright, here it goes. Quick, quick, quick. These little owls were taken from a napkin. So I'm going to go ahead and first do the background. These are my tiny little pen pastels. They are very cheap little thingies and I definitely need to upgrade. I wanted to do it a long time ago, just haven't made it to the art store yet because in the meantime I'm really in love with pen pastels and I really want to get a good set. But they work, these little guys. So anyway, here I'm using some gel medium to put my little owls on my page. There we go. Oh, it was a little bit tricky. There we go. I think in this case I just let the left side of the branch just go over on the other page. That's kind of look nice like that. And one more, this little guy too. Alright. Make sure when you do decoupage like that, everything is done really, really well. And oh yeah, here I'm cutting a little piece off. All right. And dry it really well, because if you work with any other medium on top of it, if it's not dry, you will mess up your little pictures. So now what? Alright, this is a watercolor pencil in brown. I was thinking of adding a little tree trunk, and in hindsight I think I could have made it a little bolder, but oh well, this is what it is. I don't know about you, but when I watch my videos, I always think of some improvements I could have done. So just some little branches. I'm kind of copying the style of the ones those owls are sitting on, and some little simple leaves as well. This is still all watercolor pencils. And another shade of green. Alright. And now I activate it with a little bit of water on a small paintbrush. If you've never used watercolor pencil, just make sure you clean your paintbrush between colors. But they're a lot of fun to work with. And now a little stenciling, I'm thinking. Alright, I have an ink pad which kind of has that turquoise blue. Oops, that one's no good. Okay, that one. Okay, it has that kind of turquoise bluish tint. So I just want a little bit in the background. There we go. And now it needs something else. Now I'm contemplating of using that little piece of liner there, the kitchen drawer liner. But you see in the last minute I changed my mind and I go back to the stencil. I am using just some gesso here with a makeup sponge, just to give a little more little texture. Not, it's very thinly applied, but a little more interest to the face. Alright, now I'm outlining a little bit. First just the eyes, and you will see later I outline more of the owls. I found this marker actually. It is, oh, what brand is it now? No, I forgot. Oh, it gets me, I will tell you. But this one does not bleed through to the other side. Alright, now I'm thinking it needs a little more color. It's just too boring. Now, of course, that pink is very strong, even though I love pink. I think I did a bit too much down there at the bottom of the first owl I did, but you'll see later, everything is fixable. Oops. There, see, I had to use a little glue to tuck down his tail. There we go. Alright. I like to apply ink pad as a rag like this, because you get a very good control of where it goes. And I use it quite a bit for shading and just for effect. Oops. I realized that for myself, I had a better view when I pick up the book, but I realized for you, that's not necessarily better, so I will try to not do that again next time. I hope I remember. So now I'm realizing the pink is a bit bright, so I'm just using the same stencil and again a little gesso, and I tone it down a little bit, especially in those super pink areas. There we go. Alright, and now I realize I do want to outline them a little more. So the wings and the feet. And I'm going to dry everything. Alright, little more little eyeballs. Now there are a lot of details on these little owls, and I love details. I could sit here for a while now and go into all the little details you can outline and add. I really enjoy that. Sorry, my head is in the way. So here is the first page, my 4 little owls. So because these pages go very fast, I'm making a second one, just a little different style. I'm using very similar material. So again, my little pen pastels come out a little darker blue, and then I go on, oops, and I'm having trouble holding the little frame and opening and using these little pen pastels. If you get a better brand, or get something a little, better, you probably don't have that difficulty. I usually brush them off a little bit because they are very cheap. They do dust a bit. Sorry, my head again. Again, this is just black pen pastels through a stencil for a little interest. The black frame was actually part of the set. It was meant to go in a picture frame, but it comes in handy because it has such a perfect oval shape. I'm putting it down first because I want these stencils not to interfere with the oval I had created earlier, so this way it gives me a boundary there. Alright. And actually, if the pen pastel goes somewhere where you don't want it, as you can see, you can erase it. Now I want to add one more color, something a little bit different. So I'm using a very simple stencil there and some ink pen. It's yellow, and it does mix a little bit with the black pen pastel, so it's not coming out super bright, but it is okay. In this case, I don't really mind it. And of course, by now I should have figured, yep, I got it. Put that on the other side so it doesn't get in the way. Alright, a few more here and there. There we go. Now this was hairspray. I know it was very quick, but I usually do that to make sure the pen pastel don't smudge anymore. And after you dry it, it does not come off on your hands anymore. Oh yeah, the marker is a Prismacolor marker, and it does not bleed through like a Sharpie would. So I really like this one. This is a brush one, the B one. And so I'm just drawing a very simple little feather. I like feathers. And so, well, first I use the marker to make the little details. It's the black. I really enjoy these pages because you really can do them in 10 minutes, and it's a great way to either warm up for some other project you're working on, or sometimes you know how it is, you only have a few minutes and you have to cook or do laundry or go out or go to work or whatever it may be. So you can really finish a page in like 10 minutes depending what you put on it, and I really like that. So here I'm using also some gel pen, first in blue, then in yellow, the good thing about these pages going rather fast is that this book has over 600 pages. So, I'm figuring, well, if I paint every second page and, do a page a day, well, I could nearly fill it up in a year. Well, let's see how it goes. So now I am adding a little bit of ribbon there. I used a silver marker earlier too. It's a little glittery, so it gives a little bit of glitter to the feather. Now white gel pen for the highlights, little details. It's very simple, just a little feather in the middle of the oval. I want to put a little more detail and cleaning up a little bit. I didn't realize I make such a mess on my desk. I decided to do a little splatter. This is just, again, gesso with a little bit of water, and it's a fan brush, but you can use any brush you want. Just a little splatter, but I don't necessarily want it on the feather, so that's why I covered it. And now I'm drawing the whole thing. Oh yeah, and this is a charcoal pencil. I like to do a little bit of shading because it gives it a bit more dimension and makes it look kind of cool. And so yeah, I like to use the charcoal for that because you can smudge it a little bit if you do just a little bit at a time, and it gives it a lovely shading. There we go. Now at the end of this video I will show photos of these pages one more time and a few other ones too. Oops, why in the world I did this, I don't know.